Right now it's 36 degrees in my house, so I have to do a lot of things to try to stay warm. That's what this video is about. I haven't done a lot of videos with renovation stuff because it's very unmotivating to do anything in the cold, and so I concentrate on different things. This is why I'm wearing this coat. Sometimes it gets a little colder than this, but I just dress up warm and try to do the best I can with it. But I got a suggestion by, I believe, one of my subscribers. He just said to do a video about how you stay warm in the winter. So I thought that was a good idea. I have done videos like this before, and I had to live in a garage during the winter, a camper trailer with really poor insulation in the winter, because that was an important thing that happened to me to influence me to get a cargo trailer and then insulate it. So I'll go into the cargo trailer later, but basically I'll just go through different options that I've learned about of how you can stay warm. The first thing that comes to mind is making sure you find a room that you can close off. And I use this room. This is like a little pantry or something, and I just put a curtain in front of this. And that's one of the key things, is making the room small and controllable. So this is actually a really good room that I used for that, and I used a little space heater and it heated it up within 30 seconds and it was just fine. The reason why I don't use it now is because I couldn't get the Wi-Fi signal in here, and so as I'm in bed or whatever warmed up, I wanted to work on some stuff on the computer. So that's why I abandoned this idea. But this is the key part of keeping a room warm, is keeping it smaller, keeping more isolated, and making sure it's insulated really well. So this room worked really well. So I got my furnace halfway running, but it doesn't work all the time. So I used this bedroom in here. As I finished this, or I got carpet in there, I was able to put my couch in here so I could use it, and then I put some a shower curtain here to close this off. It's not perfect, but that's what I did there. And I just put curtains up just to keep the light out. But you can get these plastic covers. You probably heard of them. Is just taping up these plastic covers, and that you can get that at Walmart. Keep the drafts from blowing in. I don't have those up yet, but this is essentially what I've been using, or a few different options. And I like this idea because you could isolate and control how much you use. I've been using this little buddy space heater with propane tanks. I've used probably 4 of these tanks now. The tanks last, I would say, 2.5 weeks, and I use the propane heater probably, I would say, an hour a day, maybe 2 hour and a half or something. I get warmed up, and then I get into my sleeping bag, and that's what I use it for. So this is just for a temporary warm it up and then get into my sleeping bag. This isn't the best, I don't think. It works okay. I'm just surviving this winter. Cost about $60, and there is a better there are better space heaters. One heater that I used before in the winter in a camper was this space heater here, and it was really good. I wish I kept that one, and my friend Will, who also uses one, says they're really good. I feel like they're way better efficient with using propane. They're bigger and they get hot. They are just manufactured differently. This one uses like a catalytic ceramic or something with holes in it. Propane just leaks out of there and it lights it up, and so it does okay. It gets hot, and it warms up this room to a comfortable level. So it works. It's just, it was $60. It's doable. I don't think it's as efficient though. And the other ones are a lot more expensive. They're probably 3 times as much as that, but probably a couple $100 maybe. But I feel like it's worth it because it really warms up even a poorly insulated camper, it'll warm it up. So this one's an electrical one that I just carry with me, and it does okay. It just does a little bit of a job. It's just there to have as an instant heater. And then I have my 30 below sleeping bag, and then I have my electric blanket that I could use as well. So I have a few different options. The main part about this experience is your feet. I know it sounds strange that I emphasize this, but in my other video I really emphasize it a lot. Some people complain about that, like, why are you talking about your feet? Well, your feet are a big factor. You know, if it's 36 degrees or below in this house, your feet are the first things to get cold, and they're the last things to, or the hardest things to stay warm, because every other part of your body you're able to, like, you know, keep warm and tuck into your body or something, but your feet are always down there with your cold shoes and cold floor. And then when you get into your sleeping bag, if you have cold feet, the bottom of your sleeping bag will be like a little cooler. It'll just insulate that cold, and if your feet are cold when it starts, it'll stay cold throughout the night. And that is something that is weird, because you would think that it would get warmed up during the night, but it doesn't. So you gotta get your feet warmed up first, and then put them in your sleeping bag, and make sure it has enough heat to insulate so it stays warm throughout the night. Basically, that's all I do is put my feet in front of my propane heater. I make sure they're warmed up, they feel good. I have some socks on so that my socks are warm too. And then as soon as I am done with that, I get my feet in to the bottom and make sure they're warming up that little space. And as soon as it's warmed up, it'll stay warm throughout the night. It'll insulate the warmness. You could also use a sock full of rice. You could microwave that and throw it down there. It'll warm it up, and you don't even have to warm up your feet first of all. You could just throw that down there, and it'll warm it up in there. Or boiled water in a Nalgene bottle or something, you put down there. As long as you get it warmed up first, it'll stay warm. So that's one of the biggest things I want to just warn you about. So if you have any other ideas about keeping your feet warm and getting them warm, then just post them down below or something. So that's the overall thing with getting to bed and sleeping and stuff. Staying warm throughout the day is just a winter coat, winter clothes thing. Just wear layers. That's all I do. And so as I sit at the computer, usually I get kind of cold, and I just get my warm gear on, get some hot chocolate. That's a typical thing to do. But so I'm experimenting with different ideas on how to get battery power and self-sustaining energy, so that I don't have to rely on a battery. But these are basically other options. I use this Catalytic Diesel 12-volt battery heater there. I don't know what it's called originally, but you can use this in RVs and campers and stuff, and I haven't been able to use this. But the person I bought it from, I'm going to sell it back to them because they need it right now. The girl that I have bought it from, she's living in her van again, and she needs that one, so I was going to sell it back to her. I decided to hook this thing up, see how it works. I just hooked it up to the battery, and it's got a little controller. You can adjust it, and it pretty much turns itself on and runs. It's about half full of diesel. I've had it running for maybe an hour and a half, and it probably went down maybe an inch or so in fuel. And I got the temperature up. It was 36 degrees or around there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's now almost 50, so it's 48 degrees now. 48 degrees is comfortable for me now, but
it was just from this hose, the output of the heat. I could feel the blow coming out maybe 3 or 4 feet, and it was able to heat up this entire area up to 48 degrees. And it's still warming up now, but I would say it works pretty good. I mean, this will work even better in the RV. And you could hook this up directly to your tank if it's a diesel running truck or whatever they've got, and so you don't even have to fill that with fuel. It is kind of noisy. I don't know if you'll be able to sleep to it. It might be kind of a white noise, so maybe you'd be able to sleep to it. So when it's clicking on and off, it starts running and it gets pretty loud. Up and running time, when it gets warmed up, it takes a good probably 5 minutes. After I turned it on, it took some cycles to get it up and fueled and running and hot. So that would be the other drawback from this system. It just takes a little while to get primed up and warmed up. But other than that, it seems like a good system that'll heat up your RV with no problem. And considering that this house is pretty drafty, I would say it pretty closely compares to an RV that doesn't have any insulation or is very drafty.
This space heater is for this is DC powered, so I was going to hook up to my solar system and have it run off of that. This is a 24 volt though, so I need another battery to run that. So I haven't quite figured that out. But these are basically, you could use it for your house, but it's for like an RV camper situation. So we'll go to my cargo trailer and see how that's doing, and I'll tell you about that. So this is the cargo trailer I was telling you about. I do have a video on this one. I lived through a couple winters in the cold, living in an old camper trailer that was poorly insulated, and that's what sparked this idea to make my own with a cargo trailer. This one is absolutely awesome right now, and because I insulated it, it's still just a shell, and I use it as basically just storage right now. Bought this for it was listed for $1,200, but the guy wanted to sell it and he was motivated to sell it, so I just offered $900, and he knew I was strapped for cash anyway, so he sold it for $900, which is awesome. This is an old step van cargo trailer. I have a lot of videos on this one, but I felt like I might do an update on this because I'm going to empty this out, and then I'm probably going to just move into this during the winter, even though I have my house set up there. Because this, when I walked in here and it was all windy outside, I walked in here, I'm like, wow, this is really quiet. It's like a cave, and I could just, put a space heater down, it'll warm it up real fast, and I can control the temperature. There's enough space for me to put my computer and stuff like that. So I felt like I needed to test this anyway, so I might do that. So all these walls are insulated like crazy, all the ceiling, it's all sealed off, and I don't have any windows, and I've probably debated that a lot. I may not do windows. I just have these vents that I have, and I'm going to put a fan in 1 or 2 of them, and I'm going to control the airflow that way and the ventilation and everything. The floor I'm not going to insulate on the inside because I am 6'2". I'm 6'2", and this is probably 6'2.5". So if I get any more insulation on the bottom, I'm going to be bumping my head and everything. So I decided to insulate the bottom part of it, and so I have another video on how I did that. It was underneath, I put insulation. But this thing is amazing. I absolutely love how this is right now. I had plans to put up kitchen, bath, maybe a portable kitchen, and then just sleeping cots down. I have all the materials to do this, and I'm going to end up doing some more videos on this cargo trailer. I'm not going to do it quite yet because I'm concentrating on my house, but I'm awfully tempted just to live in this and then rent out my house or something or whatever. But this makes me feel really, really confident knowing that I could control the temperature in here, either cold or either keeping it cool or keeping it warm. I feel really confident. The thing I must mention is what goes through your mind as you are going through a cold experience is that you change a little bit in that your habits, such as cleaning and what you eat and how you are during this time. Basically, you just want to do quick things like pizza. So I've had a lot of pizza, and I don't clean a lot. I don't put food away because it's like a refrigerator out here anyways. So I just thought, why put food away? And I'm not really motivated to really clean up just because it gets so cold. I did have my pipes freeze a couple days ago. I was able to get it running or whatever, but I turned it off. I have PEX pipe down there, so it has some tolerance to it freezing, so it was still okay. It wasn't leaking or anything after that, but because basically the pipes are down there next to the ground where it's gonna be really cold. So I just turned off the pipes, turned off the water. So you get a little more irritable, and you get this mentality of, oh my gosh, I just want to stay in my bed. You sleep longer, but there's just no motivation to get up and get out to try to do anything. So it's hard for me to get onto my computer out here and actually do some work. It's been, I don't know, it's 36 degrees in here right now, but outside it's been down to 0 and under 0. It's supposed to be like 8 or 9 below this week or something. Those are the things that I have to face right now. But I feel like it's worth it because I don't have any rent or mortgage, and I feel this hope and this excitement for the future. So I feel like I'm just gonna stick through it, and also motivates me to try to solve the problem. So I'm constantly thinking about what can I do to be even more efficient, to invent some new thing or discover a new thing and recreate it so that I can stay warm efficiently and not have to rely on the grid. So it motivates me to do that, and I'm constantly thinking of more ideas of how to do this. I've had a couple successful experiments with these batteries. This one I got a volt out of, and I have some other ideas for more batteries that are going to be really, really good. I'm excited about that.